Ski, what it do, Ski?
We are back again, and as you can see, we have a bit of a different setup. I'm visiting my family, but we had to hop on and let y'all know our opinions and what we think about these new updates.
It's like we can't even predict the next one coming up because it's like back to back to back. And it's like it sounds like they just, as Diddy said, scrambling and scraping for ish. Because what's
Yeah.
going on? Without further ado, let's just drop the video of them because as we always say, we don't have apostate material or literature. We just hold a mirror up to Jehovah's Witnesses.
Fact.
Many young people are asked, what do you want to do when you grow up? Of course, the best career is a life in full-time service. Even so, full-time servants need to support themselves financially. In some places, it's possible to earn a decent living without getting further education. In other lands, additional education is required if you hope to find employment that has reasonable hours and that pays fairly well. In such cases, a brother or sister may wonder, should I get additional education? If so, what type? Now, what do we mean by additional education? This refers to any secular education or training beyond the basic education provided by the government. It includes courses offered by universities, colleges, apprenticeships, trade schools, technical schools, vocational training, short courses, and continuing education. Is it appropriate for Christians to pursue additional education? With this update, we'd like to clarify our understanding. While there are dangers involved in pursuing certain forms of education, basically, whether to obtain additional education or not is a matter for personal decision. At Galatians 6:5, the Bible says, "For each one will carry his own load of responsibility." So, each adult must make his or her own decision on whether to obtain additional education. Parents are also responsible for decisions regarding their child's education, and their guidance can prepare their child to make wise decisions regarding education once he's an adult. How can we make good decisions when considering additional education? Each adult Christian, and in the case of minor children, each family head, should prayerfully consider Bible principles and the unique factors involved with a certain educational program before making the decision. And while an elder or a mature friend may discuss with us the pros and cons about obtaining additional education, no Christian, including the elders, should judge a fellow Christian's personal decision on this matter.
That is wild. I keep saying they just keep on trying to rebrand. And the reason why is because, for one, they're losing money and they're losing members. And in losing members, obviously, they're losing money. Mm-hmm. Now, tell people, especially with this kind of economy that we currently have, if they tell people, okay, now we don't care anymore if you go for higher education. But it's the gaslighting for me because they always make it seem like that was just never really a thing. Like it was never really something that they focused on. And oh, the light is getting brighter and now we have clear understanding and nobody should be judging anybody for higher education. Excuse me, what? Do we need to remind y'all what they used to say about higher education? I think we do.
Yeah, because sometimes we get so much information as Jehovah's Witnesses, we barely remember what was said last week. So let's just do a quick reminder.
When it comes to institutions of secular learning, I have long said, the better the university, the greater the danger. The most intelligent and eloquent professors will be trying to reshape the thinking of your child, and their influence can be tremendous. We will not need doctors or lawyers after Armageddon. It requires faith. To decline higher education, I have long said, the better the university, the greater the danger.
They got some nerve, don't they? And people watch these earlier videos, and the brain controlling is so much and so heavy that they will excuse something that's right there in their face. All they can say was, whoa, and they repeat the script. It's like comes right back to memory. Oh, well, in the last days, they said the light will get brighter and brighter. They
Right.
don't always get things right. This isn't even you coming up with these answers. It's just that you've been brainwashed over the years to when you see this, this is the response. Hurry up.
Right.
You drill it in your head twice a week, twice a week.
Right, exactly. And I think personally it's a good thing that they're finally letting people, their current members go to higher education. That's like why would you not allow somebody to go?
Yeah.
But what I'm so sorry for is the people who have been in the organization and who have lost their dreams over trying to be this perfect Jehovah's Witness, like
Exactly.
people in their 60s, are they really going to go back to school to become a doctor when it takes
Oh.
10, 12 years? You know what I mean? Like, are they really
Oh.
going to go something like that? And that could have been their dream,
Mm.
but they put all of that on hold for the new system, right?
Yeah, and that's what has a lot of people pissed off right now. People are furious with this because there are people who, like you said, are in their 60s and 70s who had to raise kids struggling simply because they just had to wait on Jehovah and work with what they got. The whole time, like you said, people had so many skills, things that they were good at, things they wanted to pursue, but they were convinced not only can you not do this because we said so, this is what God said. So now you're looking at it like, okay, this situation I'm in is because Jehovah wants me to go through this because this is his idea. The whole time, who said this? As we always say with this new light, if as of today, say this is 10 years ago, Jehovah told us you can't have a beard. That's wrong. You listen to it. Jehovah said you can't go to school. Jehovah said you can't speak to a disfellowship person. Now you got a new answer. That's fine and dandy, but the $1,000,000 question, who was giving us the answer 10 years ago or 10 days ago? Because you say you are the person that gets this information from Jehovah. And you got people going down or right off a cliff listening to you.
Right. And I just have to shout out real quick the girl from Instagram who gave us the clip of what they used to say. Education, like that whole rant that Toni Morris went on and everything about higher education, that is insane, just for them to flip it all now. It's like, what was the reason for it before? You know what I mean? And now you're saying, oh, nobody is to judge anyone, when meanwhile, the elders themselves were the ones who would judge people for it because you weren't even allowed. I'm not going to say you weren't allowed to, but I remember seeing that even in the Shepherding the Flock book, it literally said, okay, somebody had posted it. It said, if the kids of like an elder or somebody is going to higher education, are they really putting kingdom interests first?
Mm-hmm.
So with that's like the rhetoric that was taught. They plainly talked about higher education this way, because if you go off to college, then all of a sudden you're going to be in such a dangerous situation and like you're exposed to all the dangers and temptations as if like something different than normal everyday life. Then whenever you go off workforce, the same temptations there are going to follow you anywhere in your adult life.
Exactly. And then they compare disfellowship people by saying they don't have Jehovah's protection. So that means you do. If you got Jehovah's protection, like you say, you should be able to go to school, to go to work, to go to different environments, and you should be protected because you have a genuine heart to do the right thing, you would think.
Yeah.
No?
And what does do about it, I'll say, sorry about that. My sister has birds. They're going nuts in the background right now. Okay. But what disgusts me about it is like before they would use scriptures, just like always, to back up their point. Just like they did in this new update, like, oh, people should be, whatever that scripture was, that like people should be able to take care of themselves kind of thing. That scripture's been in the Bible.
This whole time. And this is why you don't listen to men when it comes to your life decisions. You don't let somebody else dictate what you should and shouldn't do, especially if you're not harming nobody. And especially if this is something that's going to help your journey of life. And then,
The life.
Yes, and the person telling you this is rich, and they
Yeah.
not sharing it with you. So why are you listening to them?
Yes, and I think this is going to be a big shift too. And I think the reason why is because when you do decide to do better for yourself in any way, and that's just like one step, right? Is like economically doing better for yourself, but it's to a different space. You're now out of like survival. You know what I mean? Where you're
Right.
just waiting for the next day to get by, you know, so and you're living day to day, paycheck to paycheck. Once you're able to do more,
Right.
it puts a different mindset space.
Yeah. You know something I just thought of with this video?
But
It's a crazy coincidence that right after they are pressing people about more money, now they turn you to go to school.
babe,
Put two and two together.
yes,
What
I'm
money?
brought that up because I was about to forget about that point. But I thought the same exact thing. I was like, you know what? And maybe what they did was look at all these apostate videos, right? And seeing how they rank in terms of the poorest religion. They're at the very bottom. You know what I mean? So maybe they didn't know the statistics themselves. And once they seen that, they were like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe we should start enforcing higher education or start encouraging higher education because we shouldn't be at the bottom. Because that's like God's favor.
No,
For you,
at
the only one just struggling all the time, that doesn't look like God's favor.
at all. And then now you have to look at, even if over the years they start to climb back up the charts or up the charts in general from being the poorest, people have to be able to forget this whole time of Jehovah's Witnesses being poor. That's going to be hard one to bury.
But they're just rewriting their own history, just like everyone else does. Everybody rewrites their history, and I feel like that's what Jehovah's Witnesses are doing because the current religion that they have, the current rules that are enforced, are totally different than just whenever I was growing up, which was
Right.
That was only 10 years ago. You know what I mean? It looks totally different, like the rules that were enforced back then versus what's enforced now.
It's ridiculous. And we always say, we joke about it, like they are so desperate right now because they don't have the numbers they used to have before. And it's like they just trying to reach and do any little thing that'll give them a slight boost, like keep them staying afloat.
Yeah, and like we say all the time, but this is the age of media. Like there's no way you're going to expect to bring in all these young people into your religion and then just signing the vow of poverty. Like, no, that's like a thing of the past. That's not something that happens.
No. And like you say, even like with the youth, young people now, it was easier to recruit somebody who didn't have Jehovah's Witness family members and they were the young person studying. You could do that 15, 20 years ago real easy, but now you come across a young person on the street, say we're Jehovah's Witnesses, TikTok, Instagram, all of that, YouTube is right there. It takes nothing or Chat GPT to ask who are Jehovah's Witnesses, and they're gonna come across everything. So it's gonna be hard to keep this stuff going.
Yes, and you know what? I use Chat GPT a lot, and they give you a lot of unbiased like facts. You know, like they'll just say it unbiased. We can be biased. We used to be Jehovah's Witnesses, right? So like we're coming from a different perspective. But if you're asking like Chat GPT or like just going off of different reviews, like that can be more unbiased.
Yeah, it'll give you a list of what's currently going on about Jehovah's Witnesses and not from jw.org only. No, this is going to open up. jw.org is trying to put that in a good light, but then you have all these other sites that's just saying what it is.
Yeah. And why run from the truth? Like if it is what it is what it is.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, but I remember we had a couple articles you had sent over too. Yeah. And this is, like we always say, this is not apostate material. So we have one that we could show was college education, a preparation for what? And it talked about his name was Bill Reel, wrote an article that appeared in the Daily News, a New York City newspaper, in which he presented some sobering facts about college education. So peep how Jehovah's Witnesses pick and choose when to use these articles like the Daily News or CNN.
Worldly people, right?
Yep. And this is just something to support their idea. It says things about What do you know after 4 years of higher education? He asks. No offense, but you don't know much. Oh, you might know quite a lot about romantic poets or Renaissance painters or computer technology or accounting procedures. I hope you learned enough to make a living, but nobody 22 years old knows much. You haven't lived long enough. Wisdom comes only with age, so get humble. So just even little quotes that they took to put in this to downplay college for those who feel may honestly know what they need to make in order to make a living or take care of their family. They know what I'm doing right now, my job, I'm barely getting by. And I'm good at this, or I have a scholarship offer for this.
Yeah.
But no, look what the professionals say about this. Any other time you don't listen to these professionals.
And here's the thing. It's like college is like with anything else, because we're not super supporters of college either. You know what I mean? But we are
Right,
going and learning a skill that you can monetize. You know what I mean?
right.
And money off of.
Mhm.
And just like college, you have to look and see, okay, if I'm going to pay this much for this degree, how fast can I get that money back? Like, how
Right.
can I get a return on my investment?
Yep.
And if it's like a year, you're in a pretty good spot, you know, but people don't always think about that because they're not educated in that realm either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like you said, it makes perfect sense. If you are going to college, you don't have to pay everything back that quick. A lot of
Right.
people are making payments. So easily as a Jehovah's Witness, you can go, I'm making this much now, barely getting by. I can make this much, and even after paying this each month for college, I'm still here. So I'm able to do well. I don't have to do 80 hours a week. I'm working a 40-hour-a-week job and I can still pioneer and go on service. But like they say, it's the what they call it, the spiritual dangers in the other article.
Right.
Yep. So we can pull that one up. Says higher education can lead to moral and spiritual dangers. Our Bible proverb says the shrewd one sees the danger and conceals himself. So they always have to tie the Bible into it. Jehovah's Witnesses feel that the environment in some universities are similar centers of higher learning can pose moral and spiritual dangers. For that reason, many witnesses choose not to immerse themselves or their children in such an environment. They feel that the centers of higher learning, mistaken ideas such as the following are often promoted. So it gives the misconception money brings happiness and security. Yeah,
That's a misconception. Like, no, money does offer security.
yeah. And I like how they tie, instead of just saying they say money brings happiness.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of people will say money brings some type of security or it's a tool,
It's
but
a
nobody
tool.
says this is going to make me happy. No, people just want to be able to live without being in fear all the time about, man, I'm down to my last dollar. At least I have a little extra to put aside. That's it.
And simply be able to go to school without feeling guilty.
Right. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. Sorry, you could go to the next one.
I know you're right. Then there was the next one that says misconception. A person should seek the prestige or status that can result from higher education.
Oh my God. This is so annoying. Like, they just want you to be absolute. To me, that says like they just want you to be nothing. It's not about seeking a prestige. It's about being able to become something in this world and in this economy, you know?
Yep. And it's
No
easier
one
to keep,
struggle.
I was going to say it's easier for them to keep people poor because say a person has a family that's all Jehovah's Witnesses and they decide they want to leave.
Yeah.
They might get kicked out the house. They don't have the resources. They don't have education or things like that to where they can take care of themselves. So they're forced to come crawling back to not only their spiritual support, but their financial support.
Support system, period. Babe, you bring up such a good point. That's true. Like, when you have no resources or no support or no way to like fend for yourself and survive. Oh my gosh. This bird is crazy. He's flying back and forth. But
Yeah.
anyway, when you don't have that, it's easier to control you because you need somebody else.
You can't do it by yourself. I think that another one in that one was a misconception. Higher education is the best way to improve the world. My thing is, who's saying this stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the time it's to improve your world or your family. If you are thinking of having kids or have kids, you want to be able to spend time with them and make sure that they have a roof over their head and food to eat. And
Yeah.
occasionally you might want to do nice things with your kids, go on a vacation, get
Yes.
them things that they would like. Not to say they have to be rich, but you are just trying to make a better world for your household. That's it.
I think they just had such a very extremist view where it's like you can have this or that, but it was never you can have this and that. Like you
Yeah.
can be a morally strong person and make a good living. Like, you know what I mean? You can
Yeah.
do both at one time. It's not, oh, you either can be a spiritual person or you can make money. Like that's not a thing. You know
Not
what I
at
mean?
all. But they are very extreme with all they teachers. Even like the idea of Satan's world. Anybody who's not a Jehovah's Witness is Satan.
Yeah,
Bad person. Even if they seem nice, they not. They bad. This,
right.
no, because you paint the picture as if Jehovah's Witnesses are the good people, everybody else is the bad people.
Right.
You got both on both sides.
Not both. Exactly.
Yeah, this a lot of people are pissed off because they wasted so many years. And then you have for what? All for you to say, you know what, never mind. So are you gonna reimburse me or something?
Okay.
Like for real.
There are so many people who wasted so many years. I would be pissed too. Like if I never went to school to like become a nurse or anything like that, I would be that I even would have waited this long because what you think about is if I would have went when my dream was fresh, when I was really, you know, ready to go all in and this wasn't something to hold me back, I could be so much farther ahead right now. That's
Yeah.
what you know,
Exactly.
people are in their mid 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s. Like that is their thought, and that is messed up. So what are you going to do for all those people? You just went and changed these rules that you have kept since 1980s or
Stop
19.
listening to these people.
One of the oldest articles I think we had in there was either from 1960s or 1980s. So they've upheld this position on higher education for over 50 years at least.
Yep.
A lot of people's lives that you impacted
You did.
in a way.
And no real apologies behind this stuff because they don't care. They got their bread.
Right.
Yep. And then you have the other half of people who feel like, I'm glad I didn't listen. And they may still be Jehovah's Witnesses, but they like, we come across certain witnesses that are like, shoot, my mom or dad didn't play that. They still told us to go to school.
As they should.
Yep.
No, because you have instincts, you have an intuition, you know, and it's funny because we were just talking about this at the last XJW get together, remember? Babe, we about it in the circle, like, yeah, all this stuff about the higher education. This was before the announcement came out. And we were talking about how it's so funny how they were trying to act like, you know, nobody should be going into higher education. But then years down the line, all of a sudden, oh, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're a nurse, this, that, and the third, we would love to have you here at Bethel helping out the
nerve of you.
Right, because skills go no matter where it's at. You know what I mean? Your skills are valuable whether you're working out in the world or they showed themselves that your skills are valuable here too.
Yep, they need that.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's all about control. Don't do it on your own timing, but if you happen to already be like that, let us use you.
Right.
Not, oh, any brothers and sisters looking to do these careers, we will pay for your education so you can come here. No, just be already established now and drive on up.
Make it make sense.
No, this is why you should not listen to men. Even they even say things like that as Jehovah's Witnesses about men not being able to direct his own steps. But at the same time, these are men telling you what to do. But they put the razzle dazzle and say, no, we kind of just like, you know, puppets, and Jehovah is making the words come out of us.
Right.
No. But what do y'all think? Because there's a lot of outrage going on. There's a lot of I should have listened to myself. A lot of I told you so's. You got the I'm glad I didn't. What do y'all think about this? Because this is ridiculous.
Yes, let us know in the comments, y'all, and tell us what you think is going to be the next change, because at this point, we need to start keeping tally. How many changes has there been between last year to this year?
It's like we're making a game out of it now. What's next? What you think is going to be birthday? Yeah. Yeah. So let us know what y'all think in the comments. Hit us on our Instagram at Awaken Truths IG, our TikTok at Awaken Truths LLC.
We have our healing journal. We have the regular edition as well as the Pimo edition. And make sure you catch us in our next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Peace.